Hello friends, this is Ruchira Vaidya and you are watching my YouTube channel, that is CA Final Auditing. Now in my last video we have done SA 200. Now we are going to do SA 210, that is agreeing the terms of audit engagement. Now friends, starting with the objective of the auditor of the standard on auditing, with respect to the standard on auditing, the auditor has to identify whether the preconditions for an audit are present. Secondly, he has to confirm that there is proper terms of engagement in a written form or agreement between the auditor and the management in order to avoid any future disputes. Now, what are the preconditions for an audit? It means that the use by the management of an applicable financial reporting framework in the preparation of the financial statements and the acceptance by the management to a premise on which the audit is to be conducted. Now, in order to determine whether the preconditions for an audit are present, the auditor needs to determine whether the financial reporting framework to be applied in the preparation and presentation of the financial statements is acceptable. Then secondly, he should obtain unwritten agreement from the management that the management understands its responsibility for the preparation of the financial statements in accordance with the applicable financial reporting framework, and also to provide the auditor with all the necessary information which the auditor requires for the conduct of an audit in accordance with standards on auditing in an effective and efficient manner. Now coming to the contents of the audit engagement letter, the auditor should describe the following points, which includes the objective and scope of the financial audit. What is the scope under which the audit will be conducted? The responsibility of the management, the responsibility of the auditor, then identification of the applicable financial reporting framework for the preparation and presentation of the financial statements, then whether there is any significant format for the content of the audit engagement letter. After that, the auditor will also be considering certain other points in the audit engagement letter. Likewise, it will be elaboration for the scope of the audit, the terms and conditions under which the audit will be conducted, the fees, which is the important factor for the auditor. Also, the auditor shall mention in his audit engagement letter that in its scope also it will be covered that due to inherent limitations of the audit, even though the audit is properly planned and performed in accordance with the standards on auditing, there is unavoidable risk that certain material misstatements may not be properly detected. So yes friends, this is the inherent limitation of the audit and we can't take the auditor to be granted for this purpose. It is an inherent limitation of the audit. The other things, the management should provide written representation to the auditor whenever the auditor feels that written representation from the management is required in certain cases, so that the audit is conducted in smooth way. Also, the audit process may be subject to a peer review under the Chartered Accountants Act. Now friends, sometimes there may be cases that the management or those charged with governance may try to impose a limitation on the scope of the audit of the financial statements. Now when the auditor comes across such a situation, he will be in a dilemma whether to perform the audit to continue further or no. In such a situation, what the auditor needs to do is that he needs to undertake a decision that if he believes that the scope or limitation imposed by the management or those charged with governance on the conduct of his audit in the financial statements is such severe that he is unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence in order to provide an audit opinion on the financial statements, then he should, and such that it may result in disclaimer of opinion on the financial statements, the auditor should try to withdraw from the engagement unless it is required by the law or any regulation to do so. So friends, basically auditor can withdraw from the engagement, but whenever he withdraws from the engagement, he has to inform to the board of directors, shareholders or any regulatory reporting authority under whom who have appointed him as an auditor for the conduct of audit. Now there will be certain cases when the auditor will be requested to change the terms of engagement. Now in such a situation, the auditor should consider what are the reasons for the change in the terms of the engagement that the client is requesting for, and also the circumstances which necessitated this change. Now if the auditor concludes that the change in the terms of engagement are incorrect or unsatisfactory, the auditor should generally not accept to change the terms of the engagement. Now if it happens that the management precludes the auditor from continuing the auditor shall again withdraw from the audit engagement. Now basically there are certain things which the auditor should clear before the audit engagement is started. So this standard on auditing basically covers agreeing with the terms of audit engagement, which I have elaborated and discussed with you. I hope you like this video, and if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and keep watching my YouTube channel for further details. Okay, or may I hope you have a good day and good night. Take care.